guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about love and respect in relationships. I might use the words husband and wife because that's how the book that I'm going to be referencing was written, but this can be used with any relationship. Dating, engaged, married, newlyweds, or married for years and years and years. This can be really applied to any relationship, and it's just so good. So I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So Love and Respect is a book written by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. This is a book that I use in therapy with clients. This is a book that I share with people in talks and workshops for couples, but really it's just an amazing concept to learn about and implement in your relationship to make it the best that it can be. So Love and Respect, the basic principles is that men deeply desire or deeply need to be respected, and women deeply desire to be loved. And that's at the root of who we are. And Dr. John Gottman is a psychologist, and tons of other psychologists have been researching this for a very long time. And they come up with the same ideas, but really this goes back to the Bible. God tells us this in Ephesians? As women, we need to respect our husbands, and men need to love their wives. And nowhere in the Bible does it say, men, respect your wives, or nowhere in the Bible does it say, women, love your husbands. Why? Is that because we shouldn't love our husbands and they shouldn't respect us? No, that would be terrible relationship advice. God would never tell us that. But what he's saying is that women, we need to respect our husbands because that's not our natural tendency. Natural tendency is to love them and is to do things for them and serve them and nurture and cook the food and clean the house and take care of the kids and typical things. And these are stereotypical, but our natural instincts can come out in different ways, but naturally we want to love them. We want to show them love. But we are told respect them. Why? Because that's not natural for us. We need to be told that because we can love them deep in our hearts, and then we can come up with the snarkiest comments. We can say rude things. We can degrade them without meaning to. We can just say things that are really disrespectful that really hurt men more than if someone said something snarky to us as a woman. And men's call is to love us because the natural tendencies are not that. Natural tendencies are man-to-man, respect, show common courtesies, and things like that they're used to. But to his wife, to his partner, needs to show love on a deep level that is not going to come natural. So this is something that we have to work on. We have to know that it's not enough for me to show love by doing things, by saying I love you, by taking care of him. I have to show respect through the way that I'm saying things, the words that I'm saying, the way that I'm asking him to do something for me. If I'm saying all those things in a disrespectful tone of voice or just kind of like not so nice, that's gonna lead him to not loving me so well. Then me not feeling loved is gonna make me disrespectful to him. And it's this cycle. It's called a crazy cycle in the book. So the crazy cycle is he doesn't feel respected, so he doesn't show love. She doesn't feel loved, so she doesn't feel respected, so she doesn't show respect. And basically it just goes on until maybe the relationship ends. But these are two well-meaning people. These are two people who started off loving each other. They started off caring about each other, and they didn't mean harm in the beginning. They just, maybe somebody said something or did something that hurt the other person, and now they respond. So let's say my husband hurts me, I respond disrespectfully, now he responds unlovingly, and now it goes on when we didn't mean anything to begin with. So the whole thing is identifying this, and when I notice that my husband does something unloving, and I have to look at myself and say, did I do something disrespectful? And even humble myself and ask him, like, hey, I'm feeling a little bit unloved. Did I do something that made you feel disrespected? And chances are that's true, and that's gonna start a whole nother conversation where he might say, hey, yeah, you said that earlier and I felt really disrespected. And then I can say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. I just was speaking faster than I could think. I didn't mean to disrespect you. And then he's gonna say, oh, I love you, and let's make up. And it might not always be as easy as that, but if you humble yourself and say, I'm feeling this way, did I do something to you? If your husband can humble himself and say, I'm feeling disrespected. Are you feeling unloved? Did I do something that made you feel unloved? That is a completely different conversation than, why are you always nagging me? Why are you always doing this to me? You're so disrespectful, you're so unloving, you're such an unloving person. Well, yeah, now I'm gonna get really defensive, and that's not gonna be a good conversation. So if we can take a step back and kind of identify what's behind the disrespect or what's behind the unloving actions or words, then we can start to see how we're affecting the other person, and we can stop that crazy cycle before it continues to spin and somebody flies off. So in order to get off this crazy cycle, someone has to change something. So a cycle can only spin as far as somebody's doing something, somebody's reacting, somebody's reacting, somebody's reacting. But if we start to interrupt that cycle by changing something, only one person needs to change the cycle for it to be interrupted. A cycle can only go as long as two people are continuing that cycle. But if one person chooses to do something differently, it's gonna change no matter what. There's no other option. It might not be perfect right away. You could be doing everything right. That doesn't mean that your significant other is gonna all of a sudden be a perfect person too. There's always room for growth. There's always more to be learned. There's always ways to love and respect each other better. But if you all of a sudden change the way you're reacting to your partner, to your significant other, to your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, something's gonna change. They can't continue to do the same thing over and over if you're doing something differently. So for example, if the wife says something disrespectful to her husband, then the husband, instead of retreating to his room, leaving the house, going to get a drink with the friends, instead of doing all these number of other things that is gonna then make her feel unloved and make her even more disrespectful, instead of that, if he goes to her and say, hey, I felt like what you just said was really disrespectful. Are you feeling unloved? How can I love you better? You're not gonna keep being disrespectful to someone who's asking how you can love them better. So there's so many ways to interrupt this cycle, and it takes time, it takes practice. You're gonna revert to old habits, especially if this has been going on for a very long time. But the thing is that you can always practice this in every moment, in every instance, in every encounter that you have in your relationship. You can always be practicing, how can I respect him more? How can I love her more? And if you want more information on that, I would really suggest getting this book, Love and Respect, by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. It's on Amazon, and you can get on their website, and I'll link those things below. But it's just such a great tool. Through using this, I first found out about this book when I was in my master's program, and my supervisor suggested that I use it with my clients because we were a little bit stuck and didn't know where to go. And she said, this sounds exactly like the book. There's a couple in the book that it talks about where the wife is being disrespectful and the husband is being unloving, and my clients were exactly like that. And so these are my first clients ever, and I was like learning how to do therapy, how to be a therapist, and I was like, okay, let's do it, let's get this book. And so we read it together, and as I was going through it with my couple and seeing incredible, huge transformations in them, I also was able to learn so many things about how I can be better in my own relationship. And I really think that while there's always more to work on, it has helped me so much. One thing that it talks about is knowing in your heart that your significant other is not out to hurt you, and that they're good at heart, and keeping that in mind when you feel offended or when you feel hurt, knowing that they don't have malicious intentions. They're not trying to get at you and to hurt you. They said something that was hurtful, yes, but their intention was not bad, and that's really helped me in my own experience, and that's something that they talk about in the book. I also wanted to say this was not at all an exhaustive reflection of this book. There is so much in the book. It goes into really specific details about the areas in which a husband can love his wife better, and the specific areas in which a wife can respect her husband. So it's so good. There's so much information in it. This was just a brief overview of the concept, but I hope it was helpful. So if you have more questions about this, let me know in the comments below. If you want more information on this or on a similar topic, let me know what you'd like to hear about, and I'd be happy to talk about that. But for now, like this video if you liked it. Make sure you hit the subscription button so that when I have a new video posted, you'll be the first to know, and it'll be on all kinds of topics about relationships and dating and how to love one another better, home life, family, and things of that sort. So if you have something that you would love for me to talk about, please leave it in the comments below and I will be happy to touch on that in another video. Bye!